Dark academia. What seems like a new subculture that popped up out of nowhere, but realistically, it's been around for many years. It's widely known as an aesthetic and a subculture primarily focused on things such as higher education, the arts, writing, reading, and shadowy classic Greek and Gothic architecture. So what better way to explore dark academia than to immerse myself in the books that explore all that it defines? So let's jump back to a week ago when I started this dark academia reading vlog to see how I find the genre, how I find the atmosphere and the books, and if it is one that I will continue reading in the future. Enjoy! Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. This week, as September has arrived and the new school year has started, I thought, wouldn't it be fun to do a week of reading dark academia books? Honestly, I don't think I've read one book that is in the category of dark academia, maybe like The Picture of Dorian Gray. I might have read some without knowing, but there are a couple that I have on my list that I want to tackle with you guys this week. And because it is a bit of a busier week, I'm trying to finish 2 books and possibly another one by the end of the week, but we'll see. I've started 2 so far, and so I wanted to give a little bit of an update of how I'm feeling, and then we'll see where this week goes. Hopefully we'll have some time to do some fun fall activities. I lit my fall candle. Maybe we'll get some pumpkin spice lattes. I don't know. We'll see. But let's just get into the reading updates. I started reading Babel by Kuang. I'm only on chapter 2, so I think it's about 20 pages. Yeah, page 19 is chapter 2. So really in the beginnings of this book and, getting to understand what the book is about, we have met Robin, who is the main character that I think we are going to be following, mostly his POV, as he is like the student that is going to be going to the school Babel. And we meet Professor Lovell, who basically saves Robin from the plague in China, and at the end of chapter 1 they are on the ship and voyaging towards London so that they can live there together, and Robin will be living with Professor Lovell, and the only terms and conditions of him being basically adopted by him is that he will have to study languages. So far it's fine. There's nothing, we're only 20 pages in. So the language and the writing is superb, as it always is with Kuang. I'm still trying to figure out my annotation system for this one. I did start one color for magic, tabbed one part that references magic, but I don't know what the magic is, so we'll see with that. Then the second book that I'm currently reading, I'm listening to it as an audiobook, and that is AoS of Spades. I don't remember the author, but I will put a picture of the book right here. So this is a YA, I believe. It does read as a YA, so I'm assuming that it is YA. And you follow 2 different POVs in this book, at least so far. I'm on chapter 13, so about 29% into the audiobook. And so the 2 different POVs that we're following, one is Devin, who is kind of a recluse. He is not very popular, keeps to himself. He is from a very, I would say, poor neighborhood, but he was able to get into this school that is for the elite. Kind of doesn't fit in, but he is there because it is where he wants to be to basically succeed and go to Juilliard, because he's super into music. Then the second POV is a female named Chiamaka, who is kind of the opposite of him. So she's very popular. She wants to be the center of attention. She wants to look the best and be the best. And so you follow them too, and their stories, at least for now, haven't really intertwined that much, other than them being the targets of ACEs, who is sending texts to everyone in the school of like releasing people's secrets, and most of the time these secrets are his or her secrets. It is very like Pretty Little Liars / Gossip Girl-esque, so it's interesting. It's kind of like bringing me back to those two series, so I don't know how I feel about it just yet, but for now it's okay. Like, we're still following along, some secrets being revealed. There are some hints of like some more darker themes that may come up, and darker secrets, but at the same time it's not like gripping me as much as I thought it would. I am only almost 30% of the way in, and I think a lot of people say the first like 200-ish pages are a bit slower, and then the end is like crazy, so we'll see where that goes. Those are my updates, and I will come back once I have some more to discuss. Perfect. Spice is sleeping behind me. You can't see her though. I have updates for both books. So first off, I last night got to over halfway done AoS of Spades, 60% through the audiobook. I got to part 2, chapter 26. We're almost at part 3. So at this point, more secrets have been revealed. Devon and Chiamaka are still the targets, and they now have kind of come together, and I wouldn't say started a friendship, but they're trying to help each other out basically. I don't want to get into too many spoilers or any spoilers in this vlog, but just wanted to let you guys know where I'm at with the book. For the whole ACEs part, honestly, I'm not sure who it is. I have no guesses really. Like, there are some people that the book definitely wants you to believe it is, that relate to both of their lives, but none that are really interconnected. So I'm really curious to see who ACEs is. It is kind of dragging on a little at this point. So yeah, that's how I feel so far. Not much different as to how I was feeling yesterday about it on my last update, but I'm still enjoying it. I think it's still intriguing, and I really like the premise. I mean, I loved Gossip Girl. I enjoyed Pretty Little Liars, even though Pretty Little Liars kind of went a little weird. So that's my update for AoS of Spades. Then I have an update for Babel. So I got to book 2, so that's page 90, and I think I'm liking it more now. We're starting to get introduced to characters. We're starting to learn more about Oxford and Babel as the institute, as well as silver making. You're getting hints to what the magic is, but you still don't really know what it is. You're getting to know Robin more, as well as the students that he is starting to form a friend group with. But Robin, I don't know if I like him so much right now, but I do feel for him. And there is quite a bit of foreshadowing in this book. And I need to go back because I started noticing it, but I didn't really start annotating or making note of the specific parts where Robin, as he's the narrator, is foreshadowing to the future as he looks back on the things that he's talking about in the book. And I just started marking foreshadowing parts. I have more things that I'm annotating or keeping track of. I have magic, language, pain or sad moments, friendship, as well as foreshadowing. Excited to learn more about the school, the institute, and kind of where the darkness or the bad parts start happening, because I can definitely tell it's not going to be just like a happy-go-lucky school, that there's a lot of secrets involved, and I'm intrigued. That's my quick update. Gonna have some more tea, and maybe we can try going for a nice fall walk after work because the weather is so beautiful. I have all the windows open because it's such a nice cool breeze coming in, and it's so fresh and crisp. The best.
Few moments later.
So, I have finished Ace of Spades, and I have also finished Babel, but I am going to still save my thoughts for Babel for later on, just because I am still putting my thoughts together for that one. But I've had more time to sit with Ace of Spades and collect my thoughts and my ratings and what I feel about this book. So for it being one of my first dark academias, as well as my first YA dark academia novel, I thought it was pretty good. So I don't remember what my last update was for Ace of Spades, but I finished it a couple days ago. I think my last update I was saying that I have some guesses for who Aces is, but I don't 100% have like a certain guess. And so when the reveal happened, I think it was a pretty smart reveal, although I did have a little bit of an idea of who Aces was, and I was like semi-correct, but I definitely didn't guess it to the extent that the reveal was. And I'm trying to say this in a way where it doesn't reveal or spoil anything. The last section of the book was so jam-packed. It was very crazy, wild. A lot of things happened. And the ending, I would say, is very fitting towards the story and the genre as a whole. It was very dark, a little bit mysterious, but also like hints of like hopefulness. So I think overall I'm going to give it like a 3.5 stars. Although it was very engaging at many parts, a lot of parts were also quite boring to me and kind of dragged on a little. Devon's story, his story was definitely more intriguing to me than Chiamaka's, but I think they both had parts of their story and their storyline that just wasn't fleshed out fully. I also didn't feel very connected to either of their stories, so when I don't feel connected to the characters, I find I don't care about them as much. Overall, I did enjoy it. Because I had some extra time while I was doing all my cookie decorating and stuff, I don't think I really put any clips in. So I started listening to The Raven Boys, which was the other YA book that I was talking about. That was an option if I finished both Ace of Spades and Babel. And so I started it, I think 2 days ago. I'm currently about almost 75% done with the book, so we're getting there. So this book, you have multiple POVs, so I didn't know that. I was kind of confused in the first few chapters because it was skipping between POVs. I was like, what is going on here? But basically this story is about a girl named Blue, and she is kind of like in a family of psychics, but she doesn't have any psychic abilities, but she has like this power or magic that makes other people's psychic abilities stronger. So she like attracts the ghosts and spirits. And all throughout her life, she was told by her mother as well as other psychics that she has a true love and she will end up killing this true love. And it could be through, or it is through, a kiss. So if she kisses her true love, he could die. And so she kind of goes through life like, I'm not ever going to kiss a boy. And so then comes a day called St. Mark's Eve, which is like a day where her mom as well as her family, they go to this like churchyard where they can see the spirits or ghosts of people who are going to die in the next 12 months. So they write down all of the names and kind of do like an offering to these people if they want to know. And so Blue isn't able to see these spirits, but she is there to write down all the names that her mom says. But on this specific day, she sees a boy. And so she asks the boy what his name is, and his name is Gansey. And then her aunt says that basically because she was able to see Gansey's spirit, either he is her true love or she kills him. So you kind of go through this adventure where their storylines fall together. Gansey's storyline kind of follows him and his friends on like a mission. I don't really want to say much about it, but you follow along their mission that they have together. And these boys also go to like a private school. It's a really interesting story. There's like so much like magic, mystery, ghosts, relationships. It has a lot of stuff going on. Some parts are a little confusing to keep track of, and I'm like at a part in the story where I'm like, okay, I really don't know what is going on right now. Like some things are revealed, but a lot of things are still kind of mysterious and you don't know the reasoning behind these things. So yeah, I'm really enjoying Blue's character development. I love Gansey. But yeah, so we're listening to that. Hopefully we can finish that maybe today or tomorrow, and then we can wrap up this video and call it a day. So I'm gonna go and continue listening to this audiobook and make some lunch, and then I will come back once I've finished the book, and we'll talk about both The Raven Boys and Babel. Alright, let's talk about the 3 books that I read and finished for this Dark Academia video. So I won't go too into depth about Ace of Spades because we talked about that yesterday, but I think I'm going to give it 3 stars. I don't remember what I said yesterday, but I thought about it more. The more I just sat with it and thought about how I felt, I just feel like it was a good and thrilling and exciting, little bit boring read. But overall, I just don't think I connected enough to the characters to the point that it was a new favorite. It was good. I don't regret reading it, but if it was a series, I probably wouldn't continue the series. But it was definitely fun. At least the last third was definitely thrilling and exciting and fun. So after Ace of Spades, as we saw, I read Babel, and I have so many conflicting thoughts about this book. On one hand, I cried several times near the end of this book. It got me very, very emotional. But at the other hand, for a majority of the book, it was looking like a 3-star read for me. We can just get this out of the way. The writing, phenomenal. Kuang is wonderful with her writing. I think everyone can agree with that this book was written so well. You can tell that so much research, time, and effort went into writing this book. Some may say maybe a little bit too much effort. And that's to say because of the footnotes. Now, I know a lot of people talk about the footnotes in this book. Some footnotes I found were very helpful, were adding to the story, but a lot of them I felt like were unnecessary. You can tell that they were trying to make sure that the reader understood what Kuang was trying to get you to feel and think, and it was guiding you to feel a certain way about characters or about what was happening, things like that. So a lot of the times I wasn't a fan of the footnotes, but sometimes they did add valuable information and perspective to the story. With that being said, even though the writing was really good, I found myself pretty bored for at least the first half of the book. I didn't feel connected to Robin. I didn't really feel connected to the friend group. Just the story in itself, I was just, I don't know, a little bored. I really liked the way that everything was described. The atmosphere was great. I was really intrigued about the school system, the magic system, and how it all related. The translation was so fascinating to me, and it made me think about languages in a way that I've never thought about them before, and it gave me a lot of appreciation for languages, especially as someone who speaks more than one language. But at the same time, I just felt disconnected. As for the friend group and the characters, I had a love-like relationship with them because I didn't hate any of them, but I didn't love any of them. By the end, I think Victoire was my favorite. She was a badass and I really loved her character. But for the rest of them, I don't know, I didn't love any of them. And I didn't connect really well to any of them. And I felt like they all served a purpose to the story. And the purpose wasn't to talk about what a friend group does to you. Friends are such a blessing in life. I was talking to my best friend this morning. I don't know what I would do without my best friends. They bring something to my life that my family, that my relationship, that my career, that none of those bring. And I feel like that could have been explored more in this book, but a lot of it was foreshadowing the friend group breaking apart, foreshadowing that, yeah, they had some nice times, but every time a nice and kind of really good feeling moment happened with the friend group, Robin would be like, I look back on this memory and not knowing what is to come. It was always a negative side to it. I think that was my problem. A lot of the story was negative, and I understand the reason why, but you need a balance sometimes, right? You just need a balance with some good to make sure that the bad is just not all bad. Because that's just not life. Life is not all bad. But with all that to say, I did get very, very emotional. The ending was the ending. I did like the ending. I mean, it was kind of hinted at, and you could tell that that's where the story was going, but it also is not fun, not happy. So yeah, I think I'm going to give this book 4 stars. Definitely not a 5-star read, but not a 3-star either. It was very good, but I still have my, I guess you could say, problems with it. It will definitely be a book I will not forget. And lastly, yesterday I finished The Raven Boys. First of all, once I finished the book, I was so confused about the ending. It was so like everything happening all at once, and then it ended, and I was like, what just happened? I had to go, and I found a site actually that had a summary of the book written by the author, and it was really funny, and I really liked the summary. I will link it in the description. Don't read it unless you've actually read the book, but it helped me kind of piece together all the things I was confused about during the story. I also listen to it as an audiobook, and I find sometimes with audiobooks I get a little bit more lost than I would be if I read it physically. Yeah, this book was so mysterious. There were so many different mysteries and things that, you know, didn't really make sense, but they were kind of secrets were unraveled, or things were unraveled as the story went along. But still, by the end of the book, you still have questions about the friend group, about things, about the magic. Like, all of it is very interesting. I feel like a lot of these books I have not read anything similar. I mean, other than AoS of Spades, because it was very Gossip Girl PLL-esque, even though the twists were a little bit different. But Babel and The Raven Boys were very unique in their stories and the plot lines and the magic. Also, my favorite character, I think, has to be Gansey. He is such a lover boy. I loved his character, and I'm really excited just to see how all these characters' relationships develop. I don't want to really touch on any of the relationships or the characters because I don't want to spoil anything in case any of you have not read the book, but a lot of things were left unanswered by the end of the book. So I think I will continue this series just because I want to know what the heck goes on. And then the last thing I wanted to say is that this book is classified as dark academia, but there was like 3 conversations about school, and that's it. Like, I understand these guys all go to this like private elite school, but there's nothing to talk about the academia portion or like the actual school portion. So I think that was a little bit misleading. But other than that, it was definitely a spooky, mysterious, fun book, and I think I'm gonna give it 3 or 3.5 stars. I'm still sitting on it. It wasn't perfect by any means, and a lot of parts I was a little bored and a little confused with, but it was definitely the ending and the last portion of the book really redeemed the book for me. That was my week of reading dark academia. It was a very exciting week, and I think it's definitely a genre or subgenre that I am interested in reading more of. So let me know, what are your favorite dark academias below. I do have The Secret History that is on my list. I will eventually read it, and I do want to get If We Were Villains because I heard that one is even better than The Secret History. But other than that, what are some dark academia books that you guys suggest? Please let me know so I can add it to my list. Thank you for spending the past week with me. Let me know your thoughts about these books if you have read them in the comments down below, and I hope to see you guys in my next video. Happy reading! Bye!